my ex just landed on the Forbes list. So I pulled out one of his old nudes and sent it to him, with a little note. Come over and sleep with me. Or I leak it. The plan was simple, get him back in my bed, then squeeze him for cash. He replied with a string of laughing emojis. You really think I'm still that guy? Babe, I've got women lining up. I don't need you. I sent back. Oh. Then dropped a sultry selfie in a silk cami, just enough skin to get the message across. Waited until I saw he'd opened it. Then deleted it. Boom. Instant fireworks on his end. What the hell are you wearing tonight? Who are you with? I went silent. That made him spiral. Answer me. Where the fuck did you go? Don't do this vanish act again. What is this, your way of baiting me? Jesus, say something. You don't want the money anymore? I smirked. If you're not coming, I typed, someone else will. He was typing. Stopped. Started again. 3 minutes later, 2 words popped up. Drop pin. I stared at the screen and let out a quiet laugh, murmuring to myself. Still the same. I opened the folder. 180-something photos, all catalogued. Every single one taken willingly, some even Olympic-level acrobatics. With one click, I started deleting them. Back when we were together, he was still just a boy, naive, wide-eyed. But once he got going, he didn't stop. Our time in bed? Let's just say it rarely stayed quiet. The wildest stretch, we didn't leave the mattress for 2 full days, both of us ended up with nosebleeds. And I won't lie, Nico's face and body? Top tier. Even now, just flipping through the photos had every nerve in my body lighting up. I felt the heat pooling low. It was 9:20. He'd be here in 30 minutes, tops. Just enough time to shower. I pulled off a quick 5-minute look, light makeup, hair still damp. Perfume dabbed behind my ears, wrists, and collarbones. The same floral scent he used to love, he'd always bury his face in me, sniffing like a drug. Humming a tune, I sifted through outfits, bunny suit, soft pink kitten lingerie. Beside the wardrobe sat a box, tools we hadn't used up last time. I dragged it into the living room. Flipped it open, balls, paddles, ropes. All gathering dust. I picked out a few of our greatest hits. The plan was set, ambush him the second he walks in. Feed first, talk later. Outside, I heard the engine cut. Headlights spilled across the window glass in a pale white glow. Nico texted me a picture. This dumpy little complex? I texted back, come up. 304. I shut off the main lights, switched on the soft amber one in the corner, just enough to blur the edges. The air was already thick with the scent of melting wax and sex. Perfect. Knock. 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 I threw on a robe and opened the door. Nico leaned against the frame, chin tilted up, eyes half-lidded under those fox-like lashes. Sharp suit. Hair styled, though slightly unruly now. I narrowed my eyes, smiling. Back already? I reached for his tie, he pulled back, dodging me. Didn't even look. Striding inside, he barked, why the hell are the lights off? It's pitch black in here. He fumbled toward the wall for the switch. I grabbed his wrist mid-reach. Don't. It's too bright. He froze for half a second, locked eyes with me, then yanked his hand back. Turned and sat on the couch, flipping through the magazine on the coffee table like he wasn't bothered. Then his fingers brushed something beside it. He stopped cold. 1 beat later, his ears flushed red, color creeping fast down his neck. His eyes darted around. Where's Pixel? Locked in the bedroom. Last time we were in the middle of things, right at the peak, my cat Pixel had popped up at the edge of the bed, wide-eyed, silently judging. Scared the hell out of both of us. After that, we made a habit of locking her out. Pixel, he repeated, already pushing up to go check. I launched myself onto him, arms wide, pinning him back down. Breathed against his ear, "She can wait." "You tired?" His whole body stiffened. Face turned crimson. Don't play cute. We need to talk numbers first." I propped my chin on my hand, eyes curved in a smile. "Oh? What kind of numbers? Wanna take it to the bedroom?" His jaw clenched. Brows pulled tight. "Sophia, I'm not that easy to mess with anymore. Say it, or I'm not moving." Oh damn. Someone got serious these past 3 years. What's he been doing, celibacy boot camp? God, is he about to cry? I reached for a tissue, he snapped his head away. "Don't." Shit. He's actually pissed. Dear God, how do I even explain the breakup? His mother offered me $1,000,000 to leave him. And I didn't hesitate, not for a second. I knew he came from money the moment I saw him step out of a Rolls-Royce. The driver was begging him to make peace with his father. I looked him up that same night. Called in favors. Confirmed it, he was a Donovan. Runaway rich kid, rebelling against the family. Crazy coincidence, his wallet and phone got stolen that week. I found him, broke, and brought him home. He was 5 years younger, had dropped out, completely green. I played the role of the calm, capable woman, he lapped it up. Those bright, stupid eyes would shine every time he looked at me. He crashed at my shitty rental, lived off takeout with me. I pushed him to get a job, buy me a bag, hoping he'd suffer a bit, get tired, and crawl back home to his family. I figured once he did, I'd be set. But no. Stubborn as hell. Wanted to prove himself. His family even sabotaged his job hunts. He still wouldn't give in. Kept pushing. Kept bleeding. By the end of that year, I'd sunk a decent amount of money into us just trying to hold things together. Then his mother found me. And look, I never planned to marry in. I was just dating, stacking cash. So I said yes. Fast. Waited until he left to stand in line for my food. Packed everything. Disappeared. Cut up the joint card on my way out. Now, staring at the ceiling, I exhaled. Can we not talk about it today? No. Ugh. He used to grill me for days after I flirted with some guy on WeChat. I threw up my hands. Your mom made me too. His face twisted in disbelief. My mom said you weren't good enough for me. Said she'd already lined up a girl from the Astor family. Said you dressed like clearance bin trash. Nico's voice cracked, just barely, but I caught it. There was hurt in there. Why didn't you tell me? Because if I had, she wouldn't have paid me. I rubbed my eye with the back of my hand, putting on the softest, most wounded look I could manage. She told me to be smart. Said if I said anything, I let the sentence dangle. He bought it. Pulled me into his arms, held me tight. I slid my arms around his waist, nuzzling into his chest like I was home again. Nico stiffened, swallowed hard. I'm gonna ask her about it. But we're still not done here. We've got shit to settle. Ugh. There it is. Knew it wouldn't be that easy. I pushed off his chest, annoyed, and let out a sharp tch. You keep asking and asking. It's getting old. His jaw tensed, cheeks puffing with frustration. You vanished for 3 years. Nothing. Like you dropped off the face of the earth. Do you have any idea how hard I looked for you? Nope, I said with a shrug. You never called. You blocked me. Then used someone else's phone. I did. A guy picked up. Oh. That. Who the hell was he? Nico's voice dropped cold. Boyfriend. I said it flat, honest. He laughed bitterly, jaw locking. You've got some balls admitting that. Then through clenched teeth, how long? Did you fuck him? 3 days. Didn't fuck. Truth be told, I tried. Thought maybe with the money I got, I'd keep myself a pretty toy. But after 3 days, I couldn't stand him. Felt like kissing a mannequin. Too smooth. Too fake. His body didn't hold a candle to Nico's. Blame Nico for spoiling me. After him, nothing measured up. God, it's been 3 dry, miserable years. Silence fell between us, thick and heavy. I glanced over at him. Let my robe slip off one shoulder, black leather strap of my lingerie peeking out. Stretched my arms, faked a yawn. What time is it? I'm tired. His gaze faltered. Eyes locked on my shoulder. His Adam's apple bobbed. Don't think we're just sleeping this off. And right then, perfect timing, my robe's knot came undone. The front slipped open, a breeze brushing across bare skin. I tugged at the little bell on my chest, teasing. You sure you're not tired too? His eyes were blazing, but he didn't move. Seriously? 3 years and he's built up this much self-control? I tilted my head, almost disappointed. Guess I'll go change, then. I started to rise. And he grabbed my wrist, yanked me right back down onto the couch. I fell straight into his arms, warm, solid. Before I could even get a good look, his mouth was on mine. Hungry. Wild. Unapologetic. I wrapped my arms around his neck, pulling him closer, sealing every inch between us. The couch bucked under us. Breathless gasps filled the space, chaotic and sharp. Then, my palm brushed over something hot and wet. Wait. Already? I blinked, stunned, and looked up, only for Nico to bury his face into the crook of my neck, cheeks burning like they'd been dumped in boiling water. Holy shit. Well, would you look at that? It's okay, I said, patting his back with a smug little smile. We go again. Shut up, he growled, voice rough and humiliated. I reached for him again, quick, just a second. Yep. Solid as a damn diamond. Nico grunted, then in one swift move, scooped me up like I weighed nothing. Too cramped out here, he muttered. Need space to work. Oh, he worked, all right. He'd bulked up, stronger arms, tighter waist. I could hang off him like gym equipment for a full hour without losing breath. The blackout curtains didn't let a drop of light in. Somewhere between the chaos, I cracked an eye to glance at the clock. 5 a.m. Only 5 hours in. We didn't stop until the next 5 a.m., when we were both bleeding from the nose again. At some point I either blacked out or passed out, honestly, not sure which. When I finally came to, the bed was empty. Beside me, a single cold bank card. Of course. Classic move. Dragging my sore, barely functioning body off the bed, I hobbled to the self-service ATM down the street. Slid the card in. Checked the balance. 6 zeros. I didn't even blink. Pulled out my phone and called Maya. Hey, get the cats and dogs back. I'm buying the pet shops back today. Standing there, surrounded by chubby, waddling cats and dogs, I almost cried. At first, the pet shop was never profitable. Then we started taking in strays, injured ones, disabled ones. A few kind souls adopted them in the beginning, until we found out some of those adopters were torturing them for viral videos. After that, Maya and I made a pact, no more adoptions. If we took them in, we'd raise them ourselves. But the costs kept piling up. We shut down 2 flower shops just trying to stay afloat. Eventually, we had to sell off most of the stores, kept only a handful of animals, and limped along with the pet shop on life support. That was as far as we could go. Maya eyed me suspiciously. Okay, be honest, did you rob a bank? I scratched a cat's chin and grinned. Close enough. Then you better transfer everything to me now. I'll hold your assets, just in case you end up behind bars. TCH. I can hear the devil whispering from your womb. She burst out laughing, cradling her belly. No, seriously, where the hell did you get that kind of money? Even selling a kidney wouldn't cover it. Nico gave it to me. Her face went slack. Eyes blinked wide. I'm sorry, what? Nico? The same Nico? And he didn't strangle you on sight? Nope. I smiled, playing with a dog's floppy ear. You wouldn't get it. Damn right I don't. All I remember is him having a temper like TNT. Now he's rich, and instead of revenge, he's throwing you millions? You sure this isn't some twisted chase where he hunts you down and you beg for mercy in lingerie? I frowned. You've been reading too much fanfic. Sweetheart, real life makes fanfic look tame. When I told her I'd extorted $2 million out of Nico that night, Maya went into full panic mode. Sophia, no. We should leave. Seriously. Pack up the animals, hit the road. Before he changes his mind or sends someone. And then, my phone rang. I looked down. Familiar number. Maya sucked in a sharp breath. It's Nico. The second I answered, his voice exploded through the line. Sophia. Took the money and vanished, huh? Not a word, not a text. What, too rich to speak now? Excuse me? I shot back, rubbing my lower back. You're the one who ghosted first. Thought you were done with me. You. He choked on the words, then shifted gears. Come see me tonight. We need to talk, properly. I winced. Yeah, might not be a good idea. Still recovering. Huh. Getting old, huh? Oh, hell no. He wanted to poke the bear? Fine. I was the bear. I hung up. Maya was already packing a bag for me. Go. Have fun. Take your time coming back. Yeah, she was definitely high on 6 zeros. I drove straight to Nico's new place, and nearly laughed out loud. It was the building I'd once pointed out in passing, said I loved, the one with sky gardens for every penthouse. He remembered? Inside, it was pure luxury. Modern, warm, and dangerously close to my dream Pinterest board. I walked slowly, taking it all in, head practically swiveling like an L. But the place was weirdly empty. No staff. No guards. Door wide open. Where the hell was everyone? Who are you? I froze. In the living room sat a woman. Chic, poised. Face eerily familiar. Shit. Astor heiress. The fiancé. Just my luck. She looked me up and down, her gaze cooling by the second, brow drawing tight. You're Nico's ex, aren't you? Yeah. Why? Didn't his mother pay you off to disappear? She did. I came back. I gave her a cheerful smile. She was not amused. Her grip tightened on the hem of her designer dress. Do you have no shame? He's engaged. Exactly. I'm not trying to marry him. Her face flushed red. Then what are you doing here? Come on, I grinned. What do you think two people do? You're disgusting. I'd seen her in photos before, Blair Astor. Stunning in person. Classy. Polished. The kind of girl the world handed things to on a silver tray. Couldn't help but admire her for a second. Then I sighed. Honestly? You're gorgeous, loaded, the whole package. Why waste yourself on Nico? She blinked, thrown off. Even if you marry him, so what? He doesn't love you. If it's not me, it'll be someone else. You'll be fighting ghosts forever. Her shoulders softened. A little color bloomed in her cheeks. She hesitated. Gotcha. Look around. You're in Viridian City. It's crawling with rich, handsome heirs who'd treat you like gold. Nico's a walking red flag with anger issues. You really want to spend your life watching your back? Blair's lips parted slightly, her brow furrowing with something new, doubt. You might have a point. I stepped closer, switching to my best therapist voice. Really think about it. Arranged marriages? They never end well. Name one that actually worked. Blair gave a slow, reluctant nod. I mean, you're not wrong. But are you trying to drive a wedge between us on purpose? Which part of what I said wasn't in your best interest? Her whole posture shifted. The walls came down. She even reached out, gently taking my hand. Okay, let's sit down and talk. Then. What the hell are you doing? Nico appeared out of nowhere, storming into the room like a damn hurricane. He yanked us apart and pulled me behind him, protective and visibly pissed. Blair stood there, stunned. His voice dropped, cold and deliberate. Blair, don't even think about messing with her. I invited you here so we could talk face to face. I've never agreed to this engagement. If you want to get married, take it up with my mom. Blair blinked, disoriented. I don't want to marry you anymore. Sophia doesn't either. Then, cheerful as a damn parrot. She said you've got anger issues, and marrying you would be a waste. I inhaled so hard it hurt. Frantically motioned for her to zip it. But it was too late. The grip on my wrist tightened. Nico's mouth twisted into a dangerous smile. Is that so? Marrying me would be useless? She meant me, not you. I snapped, trying to salvage it. Too late. My feet lifted off the ground. Next thing I knew, I was slung over his shoulder like a sack of flour. I've got things to handle, he barked over his shoulder to Blair. Make yourself at home. And then, slam. I hit the bed, bounced, twice. Underneath the mattress, water sloshed audibly with the motion. A goddamn waterbed. Seriously? Before I could recover, he was on top of me, pinning both my wrists down hard. His voice was low and furious. Don't want to marry me? Who do you want to marry, huh? Name him. I'll kill him. And don't tell me I'm useless. Didn't I have you seeing stars the other night? I struggled, but he had me locked. No chance. Unbelievable, I growled. You just came in at the end of the convo and took it totally out of context. Where were you when I was defending your ass? His expression faltered. His grip loosened. Bathroom. My stomach was acting up. So I'm out here doing PR damage control, and you come back and throw me over your shoulder like a lunatic? Want me to go explain it to Blair again? His eyes widened. His hands released me completely. I sat up, turned away from him, arms crossed. Nico shifted closer, careful. I messed up. I shouldn't have snapped. I didn't answer. Rubbed my wrist. He reached toward me, I pulled back. Wanna hit me? I deserve it. Just get it out. Still nothing from me. I stood up, ready to leave. That's when he lunged forward and wrapped his arms around my waist from behind. Don't go, he whispered. Please don't go. And in the background. Click. The soft bubbling of an electric kettle turning on. My heart dropped. Wait, what? He's crying? He's crying? I just faked like I was about to walk out. It wasn't even real. And now here he was, shoulders shaking, face buried, coming undone. I froze. Hey, come on, it's not that serious, I turned back, awkwardly trying to console him. But Nico just buried his face deeper into his hands and sobbed harder. How the fuck was I supposed to know if you'd disappear again, he choked out. That day, I sold out the bakery to get your favorite bread, came home, and the apartment was empty. Phone's off. Gone. It was like the world ended. I tried to cut in. Tried to explain. But no use. He was deep in it. Couldn't hear anything over the storm of his own grief. God damn it. I hugged him, gently rubbing his back like he was a heartbroken 10-year-old. Okay. I'm not leaving. This time I'm not going anywhere, alright? Instant calm. His sobs cut off like someone flipped a switch. He looked up at me, face flushed and wet, eyes rimmed in red. Swear it. Swear on something awful. I cupped his cheeks and kissed him all over, forehead, temples, nose. What good is a swear? Isn't this enough? He pushed me down. No. Not even close. Then came the crash, bodies colliding, water sloshing beneath us like waves trying to keep up. Our voices were swallowed whole by it. It felt like my brain was running on pure adrenaline, no pain, no filter, just the desperate drive to go deeper, deeper still, like the bottom might make us whole again. When I woke up hours later, my back felt like I'd ridden a damn rodeo bull. Something heavy was draped over me. Nico. His voice murmured out of nowhere. Tell me what you want. What'll keep you with me forever? I didn't answer. Just faked a sleepy noise, turned in his arms, nuzzled into his chest like I was out cold. Then, softly, like a dream. Nico, I love you so much. I felt his breath hitch. Then arms tightened around me. His voice was quiet but thick with emotion. Then don't stop. Don't ever stop, Sophia. Little man, owned. And just like that, we were back together. Even Blair surprised me. She really took my words to heart. Somehow got my number and showed up at the pet shop, of all places. Ended up adopting one cat and one dog. Premium care, hired a full-time nanny for them. Imported food. Grooming appointments. We kept chatting. She'd ask for tips, trade videos. One thing led to another, we became friends. Real ones. Maya and I had been planning to start a pet content channel, help promote rescues and drive some foot traffic to the shop. Maybe finally make enough for kibble and rent. We invited Blair to invest. She didn't even blink, transferred $500K on the spot. And after spending more time with her, I realized. She wasn't some polished, obedient heiress waiting for marriage. She was a pressure-cooked bomb of repressed rebellion, just waiting for a crack in the armor. She didn't want a perfect life. She wanted her own life. Our video channel took off fast, third post in and it blew up. People were obsessed. Cats in bow ties, dogs doing yoga, rescue stories with glow-ups, it hit just right. That success gave us momentum. We reopened the flower shop, but this time, we leveled it way up. High-end only. Afternoon teas for the rich wives. Crystal vases. Imported orchids. Macarons that cost more than my old rent. We hired a professional florist and a legit pastry chef. Blair handled the clientele, bringing her socialite circle in like it was no big deal. Maya and I ran point on everything else, service, styling, strategy. And I started working the luxury angle, high-end product partnerships, connections for future auction-style events. Blair was into it. Said it wasn't quite as lucrative as her trust fund, but at least it made her feel alive. She actually liked building something. Nico was surprisingly supportive. He even started connecting me with business contacts. You're sitting on a goldmine, he said one night, reviewing the channel metrics. You've got access to a niche, high-value audience. That's leverage. Go long-term. You mean, what? Skincare? Wine. He smirked. Think bigger. Medical aesthetics. Longevity. Wellness. Rich women love to shop, sure, but the only thing they'll spend forever on is beauty and not dying. Honestly? He had a point. I used to think he was just hot and a little clueless, but when he got serious, he really had the vision. I must have been staring, because he frowned. What's that look? You think I'm dumb? Who said that? I grinned. You're a genius, babe. I kissed him on the cheek. He scoffed, then lifted me clean off the ground. Flattery's weak. Try again. And yeah, I ended up carried, again. Meanwhile, Blair was deep in her matchmaking era. Every other day, she'd send me bios and pictures of eligible men like it was Tinder for heiresses. This one's rich but kinda ugly. That one's hot but broke. This guy's mid all around but super sweet. I didn't hesitate. Go with the rich one. Seriously? She texted back. Money's the only thing that won't change, I replied. Looks fade, bodies shift, personalities can surprise you. But cash? Cash is consistent. It didn't take long for rumors to spread. Blair was suddenly linked to one of the Ramsey heirs. A full-blown business dynasty kid. Of course. In her world, finding someone rich, powerful, and halfway decent looking was like reaching for a cookie in a full jar. Effortless. And Blair? She was the blueprint for a perfect rich wife, elegant, well-connected, and raised with the kind of manners that made her every parent's dream. She told me Nico's mom had reached out 4 times in a single week, practically begging her to reconcile with him. She shut it down, firm and classy. Even sent me screenshots of the chats. The woman tried. At the same time, I kept seeing Nico's phone lighting up with missed calls, from his mother. He didn't answer a single one. Didn't expect him to be this deep into work, either. Some days he'd skip lunch entirely. When I had time, I'd swing by his office with food. And if the mood struck, we'd sneak into his private lounge and burn some calories between meetings. But today, I was early. I reached his office door, hand raised to knock. And paused. Inside, I heard his best friend, Quinn, talking. Loud, easy tone. Like he was just stating facts. Let's be real, your girl's just here for the money. Everyone knows it. Didn't your mom pay her to leave before? And now you're rich and she comes crawling back? Connect the dots. Inside, Nico stilled. The pen in his hand froze mid-scratch. His brow dropped low, shadowed and unreadable. The room went quiet, thick and cold. And for the first time, he looked dangerous. A chill crawled up my spine. My brain kicked into overdrive, scrambling for sweet words, a script, anything that could soften what I'd just heard. If he believes even half of that. But before I could knock, Nico spoke. His voice was low. Steady. A tone reserved for shutting people down. So what if she's with me for the money? What else should she want? My looks? My charm? My bad hygiene? Quinn started laughing, awkward, unsure where this was going. But Nico kept going. Having money she can chase is my skill set. What's she supposed to chase in you? Can you even afford to let a woman spend freely? Silence. She left for 3 fucking years. Took everything I had just to catch up and get her back. His voice dipped, darker. So here's a warning, any of you screw this up for me, I will end you. No jokes. No forgiveness. Quinn chuckled, half impressed, half insulted. Clapped Nico's back. Damn, man. You're really whipped. Then, with a more serious pat to Nico's shoulder, he said. You're not getting younger. Stop living like it's all a game. If you don't get your shit together, you won't even get to choose who you end up with. Nico rolled his eyes, clearly done with the lecture. Quinn smiled, changing the subject. Anyway, has your queen brought lunch yet? That's when both of them looked up, right into my eyes. Nico flinched. Sophia, how long have you been standing there? I walked in casually, like I hadn't just heard half a war declared in my honor. Long enough. Nico shot Quinn a glare so lethal it could have melted steel. Quinn threw up his hands, backed toward the door. Message received. I'm gone. And he vanished, fast. Nico turned back to me in a rush. Don't listen to him. They're idiots. All of them. Brain cells soaked in beer. I opened the lunchbox, placed it gently on his desk. I know. Then, with a small smile. I knew you were different from the start. Because when Nico hit rock bottom, he didn't go running to his family. Didn't beg his friends. He worked. He built. He got up without asking for a hand. And now, he was exactly the kind of man I'd always hoped he'd be. One evening, I got home from work a little late. As I walked through the hallway, I caught Nico's voice behind the door, low, tense. I paused. Inside, one of his friends was lecturing him again. Just go make peace with your family already. You're out here struggling for what? I'm fine. Nico's tone was flat, final. There was a thump, probably a card tossed on the table. Take the money, man. It's yours. Stop being dramatic. I said no. Then silence. Followed by a sharp scoff. You've lost your damn mind. Seriously. You didn't suffer enough growing up or what? Now you're out here eating shit for some woman? That's what this is all for. The next sound was fists. 2 of them, clean hits. Nico didn't even yell. He just swung. A pause. Then the guy laughed and said, all right. You crazy bastard. Let's eat. They went out to some Michelin-star restaurant. And when they came back? He brought me a perfectly plated takeout box. I looked at it and thought, this guy is an idiot. A loyal, stubborn idiot. One I kind of wanted to help. Just say yes for him, so he could stop bleeding pride all over the floor. They say hopeless romantics only exist in rich families. Because love takes energy. Takes space. Takes time. For most people, there's barely enough of any of that to survive, let alone fall in love. When you're busy feeding yourself, you don't chase passion. You chase paychecks. But Nico? He chose the hard road. And he didn't flinch. Now he was lying back on the couch, rubbing his stomach with that stupid satisfied grin. Ugh, I'm so full. He always cleaned his plate. Every last grain of rice. Back then, I used to love watching him eat. He'd devour anything, make it look like the best thing he'd ever tasted. Anyone who cooks knows, that's your weak spot. Feed someone who loves your food, and you'll cook for them forever. He sat up. What are you doing later? Heading to the shop. A few of the cats are sick, gotta treat them. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, already standing. I've got nothing this afternoon. I'll come with you. I glanced at him. You should probably change. There's fur everywhere at the shop. It'll ruin your suit. Nico was already pushing me toward the door, moving with zero hesitation. It's fine. I've got a dozen more like this. And I used to hold Pixel all the time, remember? Yeah, except back then, he was wearing $10 t-shirts, not $10,000 tailored pieces. But he didn't seem to care. Scooped up a squirmy cat, tossed it into the car like it was nothing, fur flying all over the leather seats. I couldn't help but remember the time a client driving a Porsche 718 refused to let me in because I was holding a cat. The way he looked at me, like I was trash. Figures. A man like that drives a 718 and thinks he's king of the world. Nico? He probably had 5 cars worth 10 times that parked in his garage, and here he was, hugging a shedding tabby in a Brioni. When we got to the shop, he didn't just stand around. He jumped in, helping with cleaning cages, refilling water bowls, moving supplies. Not awkward. Not clueless. He moved like someone who'd done it 100 times. Maya leaned in, whispering near my ear. Is Nico secretly in the pet business or something? I smirked. He used to take care of my cat. All of them, actually. I remembered the time Pixel was sick, and I had to work overtime. Nico came over, scooped litter, filled her water, fed her, then fell asleep curled around her on the couch. I took a picture. My favorite. Lost it when I changed phones. The shop was packed today, more than usual. Even employees from the store next door wandered in. Except they weren't shopping. They just hovered around Nico. Like moths to a flame. Shoulders bumping, heads craning, all trying to look casual while not being casual at all. Maya had enough. She clapped her hands and shooed us out. Go. Please. Go on a date or something. You two are physically blocking business. Nico laughed as we stepped outside. So, where to? I didn't hesitate. I want to feel the ocean breeze. We used to walk by the sea at night, just the two of us. It was right across from the Donovan Group headquarters. At the time, I brought him there on purpose, wanted to provoke him into action. Wanted to wake something up. We did that for a year. Nothing. I even started wondering if I got the wrong guy. Maybe he was just the driver's son. But now. The sea air was crisp, brushing against our cheeks. Seagulls cried overhead. The sky was streaked in amber and violet. We held hands. People turned to look as we passed, maybe wondering who he was, maybe who I was. Maybe just sensing the chemistry. Nico kept talking, non-stop ideas. Vacations to take. Houses to buy. Expanding the pet shop. Part of me wanted to laugh. The other part just listened, letting it soak in. Then, without warning, he stopped walking. Took a deep breath. Turned toward me with a weight in his eyes. Like he'd made up his mind. Sophia, he said quietly. There's something I need to tell you. The way he was fidgeting? I knew it couldn't be anything good. So I let go of his hand, stepping back just slightly. What is it? He froze. Didn't answer. Just stood there, weirdly still. I tilted my head, already impatient. Started to step forward. And that's when he spun around and pulled something out of his pocket. A small, elegant box. Then, just like that, he dropped to one knee. Face flushed. Voice shaky. I want to ask you to marry me. A proposal? Seriously? Did not see that coming. The diamond on that ring, no, that boulder, caught the sunlight so hard it damn near blinded me. It scattered light in 5 directions, practically throwing a rainbow onto the pavement. I didn't say anything. Just stared. Nico's smile faltered. His gaze dropped. Is it too small? He mumbled. I looked everywhere, I couldn't find a bigger one. Too small? The thing was swallowing my whole hand just by hovering near it. I stayed quiet for a beat longer, then said. Why do you want to get married? It's not exactly a good deal. Half your assets would become mine. He met my eyes again, earnest and open. I want to be your husband. Officially. Legally. I want our names to be next to each other on paper. That's been my dream since I was 20. I exhaled, quiet. Nico, have you ever thought that maybe, the way we met was wrong from the start? He didn't even flinch. Just grinned. Sure. You wanted me for my money and my face. I wanted you for your love. Sounds fair. God. The worst part? He was so genuine it almost made me feel guilty. Because back then, love could be faked. Everything outside the bedroom could be played. I said nothing for a long time. The light shifted. The breeze changed. His eyes lost some shine. He glanced down once more, then stood, smile slipping back into place like armor. It's okay, he said softly. If you're not ready, just forget I asked. He moved to close the box. I reached out and snatched it from his hand. I'll think about it. Maya was the first to react. She grabbed her phone, fingers flying as she searched for the ring. Stared at the screen like it might glitch out and fix itself. Oh my God, 8 zeros. That's 80 million. She counted again. 80 million. Then she turned to me, wide-eyed. I swear, I'll fight you rich people with my bare hands if you don't say yes. Blair, more composed, took the ring box in her hand and studied it quietly. So what are you thinking? Are you going to say yes? Before I could answer, Maya exploded. If she doesn't say yes, what's she waiting for? Divine intervention? A handwritten invite to marry God? But Blair just shook her head. You don't get it. Marrying into a family like Nico's isn't simple. His mother's intense. Controlling. You can't just marry him, you marry the whole damn institution. I didn't argue. Of course I knew. Blair went on, voice low. His mom had this insane grip on him growing up. Micromanaged everything. I mean, she had dietitians measuring out his milk by the milliliter. If he drank 2 milliliters less, she'd scream at the help. I winced. That tracked. She tried to force him to study abroad at 20, Blair continued. He refused. They had their first big fight, he threatened to cut ties entirely. After that, he just never went home again. No wonder he was so adamant back then. No wonder he never leaned on his family. Blair's gaze sharpened. But even now, with him running his own company, making his own money, being with Nico means you can't fully avoid his mother. Or the family. I raised a brow. Then why did you want to marry him? She shrugged. I grew up in that world. I know how to play the game. The politics, the expectations, I was raised to handle it. And our families go way back. That night, I couldn't sleep. For the first time in a long while, I stared at the ceiling with a mind that wouldn't shut up. I hadn't said yes. Not because I didn't care. But because I never thought about marriage. Not seriously. Not even once. Dating Nico again had felt right, because he wasn't like the others. He didn't spend daddy's money. He made his own. He didn't run to his parents for approval. He defied them. Most trust fund kids collapsed the minute the cash flow stopped, like spoiled dogs kicked out of mansions. But Nico? He built himself from the ground up. That made him worth loving. But marriage? That was still something else entirely. I hadn't replied in days. He was stuck on a business trip in Belgium, couldn't fly back. So he did what Nico always does, blew up my phone. Have you decided yet? Can I come back and throw a wedding right away? Hello? Are you ghosting me again? Classic move. Is this you playing hard to get? Swear to God, if you disappear on me again, I'll dig you up and break your legs. Okay, kidding. Babe, please. Talk to me. I'll let you spank me, just answer. I laughed at the screen, couldn't help it. Didn't even notice someone standing at the door until I turned and nearly walked right into them. My phone hit the floor. When I looked up, my breath caught. Standing there, impeccably dressed, eyes colder than marble, was Catherine Donovan. Nico's mother. She glanced at me, then down. The open chat was still visible on my screen. Her eyes narrowed, distaste rolling off her in waves. Not even pretending. Just pure, clean disgust written across her face. It didn't surprise me. Not one bit. She came straight to the point, leave my son. Offered 20 million as if she were buying a handbag. I sipped my coffee. That's low. Your son's already given me way more than that. Her lip curled. So you were just after the money. You never loved him. If I didn't love money, you could have it all back. I smiled sweetly. Her face turned green. How much, then? At least 400 million. I shrugged. Can't walk away with less than I'd make staying. Otherwise, what's the point? She called me insane. Threatened to have me arrested for extortion. I didn't blink. Be my guest. Then she slammed her palm on the table, venom in her voice. Told me women like me didn't even deserve to shine the shoes of their family. Told me I was dreaming if I thought I could use Nico to elevate myself. That his success was hers, built with her hands. And she could take it all back in a snap. I looked her dead in the eye. Cool. He's not my son, and I'm not broke. I'll survive either way. She stood, shaking with rage. Fine. Wait. You'll see. And just like that, she stormed out. The first thing I did? Told Maya, shut everything down. The store. The club. All of it, on pause. I already knew what was coming. Not long after, Blair confirmed it. Nico's mom was making moves, meeting with wealthy clients we'd built relationships with, women from her own social circle. She didn't even sugarcoat it. Told them straight out not to work with us. In Viridian City, Catherine Donovan had clout. People listened. And they did. Deals were pulled. Sponsors ghosted. Our channel got flooded with bots and hate comments. Advertisers bailed. Revenue? Slashed. I sat back and said, I'm moving. What? Blair stared at me like I'd grown wings. In Viridian City, I can't win. I'm not broke. I have no reason to waste my time fighting her when I don't have to. She's not my family. I don't owe her a thing. Maya nodded slowly. Where? Santa Fe. Got a place ready already. Blair looked flustered. Wait, at least let Nico know. He deserves to know this was her mess. I shook my head. He'll know. But not from me. It'll hit harder that way. More believable. More undeniable. When everything was wrapped, accounts secured, team paid, systems on hold, I left. The day I flew out, Nico called me. Over 100 times. I didn't answer a single one. Once I boarded the plane, I shut off my phone. I'd been in Santa Fe a little over a month. It was peaceful. Mornings started with runs along quiet paths. Simple meals, long walks, sun-drenched afternoons with Pixel napping across my lap. I barely touched my phone. And nothing, no news about Nico. He'd texted nonstop for the first few days. I ignored them all. Eventually blocked him. He didn't try to add me back. A week ago, Blair messaged. Said his mother was in the hospital. Apparently, he pissed her off so bad she landed in the ER. I said, maybe check in on him? No matter what, she's still his mom. But Blair replied fast. I'm not going near him. When I told him she drove you away, his face went cold. Like, actual killer cold. The next second he was sobbing like a lunatic. Screaming. I thought he was splitting in half. Then. I almost felt bad. You seriously didn't? At first, I did. But peace has a way of softening guilt. Slowing the pulse. Making it easy to forget. This life, out here, slow and quiet, was healing in ways I didn't expect. That afternoon, I was lying in the backyard, the sun washing over me, warm and drowsy. My chair rocked gently. Pixel jumped back and forth across my lap like a little punk. Then, ow. She landed square on my hand, right on the ring. That ridiculous, oversized diamond. Gaudy enough to make strangers roll their eyes. Not even thieves would bother with it. I held my hand up to the light. The stone threw a kaleidoscope through my fingers, big enough to blind a bird mid-flight. So warm. So peaceful. My eyelids started to droop. And then. Wait. Was that Nico? I blinked. Sat up halfway, dazed. Maya? Come here. I think I'm hallucinating. A voice answered. Not Maya's. Low. Sharp. Sophia. My eyes snapped open. I nearly flipped out of the chair. Heart racing. Legs scrambling. I bolted up to run. But his hand caught my arm. Firm. Maya. Help me. I screamed. Maya. No answer. No footsteps. No rustling. That's when it hit me. She sold me out. My chest heaved. No way out. I stopped struggling. Swallowed my breath and turned, half expecting to be met with pure fury. But Nico just stood there, eyes red. He stared at me for a long, silent beat. Then turned his head, blinking hard. A single tear sliding down his cheek. I had one fatal weakness, a man crying. Especially a man like him. Sharp jaw, flushed cheeks, eyes wet like glass about to break. How the hell was I supposed to resist? My heart tugged, completely against my will. Long time no see, I said with a small smile. Nico's lips were trembling. He clenched his jaw, holding back everything. You're a goddamn liar, he growled, voice tight. You don't know how bad I wanted to, God, I wanted to strangle you. I wrapped my arms around his neck, pouting. Don't. You'd feel bad after. His hands locked around my waist, holding me still. Then, softly, too softly for someone who'd just threatened murder. Sophia, do you love me? Have you ever loved me? I looked down, seriously thinking about it. Lifted my head. I did, once. His eyes flared with hope, that small, dangerous flicker that lights everything up before it burns. I hesitated. But. He kissed me before I could finish. Hard. Hungry. Desperate. It didn't feel like a kiss, it felt like a dam breaking. When he finally pulled back, both of us breathless, he pressed his forehead to mine and whispered. I don't want to hear the rest. Don't care. If you loved me once, then please, love me again. It was wrong. A little cruel. Also, a little addictive. I smiled. Nico instantly pulled back, furious. What the hell does that mean? You think this is funny? Are you laughing at me? I bit my lip, trying to stop the grin. Took a long breath. He was fuming now, his whole body tense. You better explain right now or I swear. I reached up, brushed a finger along his jaw, teasing. I'm just surprised. This isn't like you. Normally, you wouldn't say all this, you'd just act. That was all it took. He inhaled sharply. Got it. Then his hand slipped under my skirt. My body jolted. Nico, not here. I tried to move, but his grip tightened. Don't worry, he murmured, lips against my neck. No one's coming back for days. I shivered, grabbing at his shirt. I don't like doing it outside. Before I could finish, he picked me up. Carried me to the bedroom like he owned the place. Like he owned me. The door shut behind us. And it was like everything he'd bottled up, the pain, the rage, the begging, finally had somewhere to go. His voice, between frantic kisses and hands that couldn't keep still. Don't run again. Please, don't run. Say yes. Just say yes. I tried to push him off, weakly. You need to slow down. My back's gonna snap. He didn't stop. Then say it. Say you'll stay. Say it, Sophia. I don't remember if I said yes. I really don't. All I know is, I passed out. And not in a romantic, swept off my feet way. More like, lights out, battery dead, system crash. When I woke up, I had no idea what day it was. But one thing was very clear, Nico was still there. Still in my house. Still acting like this was completely normal. What are you doing? I asked, half covered in sheets, hair in full disaster mode. Working from home, he said cheerfully. Moved some business stuff over. Figured I'd stay a while. A while? 5 minutes later, I looked out the window, his luggage was already piled in the yard. Pre-packed. Pre-planned. Premeditated. This man was a walking attachment disorder. Even the landlords didn't blink when they saw him. Just waved hello like they knew him. Suspicious. I pulled Maya aside. Did you betray me? She fidgeted. I mean, you've been losing sleep since you got here. Obviously, you weren't over him. So when he reached out, you sold me out. He bought me 2 oceanfront condos. You're the one who always says, don't argue with money. I nearly choked on my own rage. I didn't say, sell me for a discount. Please. You've been sleeping better with him. Before I could scream, Nico's voice floated in from the kitchen window. Babe, want something spicy tonight? Extra spicy. Maya shouted back. Not talking to you, he snapped, shooting her a glare before turning to me with a bright smile. Wife, your preference? I didn't skip a beat. Spicy enough to shut you up. Perfect, he grinned. Coming right up. The sound of sizzling oil filled the house. A warm cloud of chili and garlic drifted through the air. And yeah, I was starving. Guess dinner comes first. And everything else? We'll deal with that after. The end.